Kind of a case of everything that could go wrong did go wrong.
We've run out of fuel on the side of the road. Clearly you're going to have to do something about this. We haven't had a day where we haven't had some kind of drama, and the van was full of dust.
Going to Melbourne in 6 days. It's just after 3 o'clock, so transport. It's raining. It's about half an hour after we shot that first bit of video, and it's now clear. Well, you know, there's still clouds, but we've had sunshine, the rain stopped.
It doesn't even look like it's rained here.
It does not really look like it's rained here. We've got weird here, so we're going to have to try and fix that.
Oh, that's right. We'll leave that in the edit though. Oh, and flies. We've got flies. Flies and weird here. That's what we've got.
Okay, and sunset.
Yeah. So we're at a free camping spot next to Edith River on the Edith Falls Road, just by the railway line. Why are we here? Because we're doing a dash to Melbourne for Christmas.
A slow dash.
Yeah, slow.
Some people do it in half the time.
Some people do it in 3 days. We're doing it in 6. So it's Friday afternoon, and we started out at a bit after 3 this afternoon. Left Darwin amidst torrential rain and thunder and stuff, and we've just kind of made that initial getaway. So we're just a little bit north of Katherine, and we're on our way to Melbourne to see the kids. So can we get to Melbourne in 6 days? That is the question.
I don't know. I feel like if people can do it in 3, we can do it in 6.
I don't think we've got any audio.
Oh, what?
So anyway, come along and see if we can do the dash to Melbourne in 6 days and see whether we see anything interesting along the way. Hopefully we do.
Survive these flies.
Yes. So we are having some problems. It's been a good start. Our Starlink stopped working. I crashed my drone. What else went wrong?
Something.
Oh, the DC to DC charger wasn't charging the house battery, so we basically didn't charge the battery between Darwin and here. Got that working again though, so that's good. Starlink's working for the moment, and I don't think the drone's damaged, so hopefully the rest of the trip goes a bit better. Come along and find out.
You can go sit on a rock and not touch anything now.
I've got to stay away from things. Anyway, look at this beautiful spot.
Kind of a case of everything that could go wrong did go wrong, but it's been fun getting back in the van. Had a nice relaxed start. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. We're about to hit the road. It's getting warm. Managed to get the AC to go through the night. Then had some power issues in the morning. I'm getting bitten by things here. Heading down to Katherine to the supermarket, and then we'll be, I don't know, somewhere else tonight. Look at the railway line.
All right, Katherine mission accomplished. Cheapest fuel on the highway, and now we head south. Check in again later. See ya. So we've stopped in Mataranka for a coffee and a snack and a break. We overtook him. He was driving really slow. Now we're going to have to overtake him again. Leaving Mataranka, change of driver. Ellie's first drive on this trip. First drive of the van for a while, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't even know when I last drove it, probably January.
Countless thousands of termite mounds.
Are they countless because you haven't counted them?
Yes.
Wait.
After the issues we had yesterday with power, keeping an eye on the charging today. Currently putting 971 watts, 973 watts into the batteries. 644 of that's from the solar, the rest is from the DC to DC charger, so from the alternator. It's looking good. We did run our air conditioning all night last night, slept with it on. We ran out of power while we were making breakfast this morning, so if we'd had that extra 10% when we got there last night, we might have been alright. Let's see, how far have we got? Oh, it's under 1,000 kilometres to Alice Springs now. Daily Waters 88, Tennant Creek 487, Alice Springs 992 kilometres. So we've just had a lunch stop. Now we're back on the road, and we have a bit under 3 hours to go to get to Churchill's Rest, and we'll decide when we get that far whether we're stopping there for the night or whether we carry on further still and stop for the night further down the track. Long, flat, straight road for as far as the eye can see.
Okay, where are we?
Somewhere north of Three Ways, not entirely sure how far, probably about 35 k's north of Three Ways.
Right, and how's your fuel gauge doing?
Not that great. Fuel light came on and it said we had a range of 68 k's. Not sure how many k's ago that was, but our range still shows the 68 k's. I've slowed down to conserve fuel, hoping to make Three Ways and put a dash in there because we wanted to fill up at Tennant Creek. But I think at this point, putting a dash of fuel in at Three Ways would be the prudent thing to do. Mainly because I don't want to run out of fuel on the side of the road.
Yeah. So check in with us later and see if we made it.
Hopefully we did.
Due to drive-offs, ID must be held at the front counter or fuel must be paid for before pumping. Thank you for your understanding.
Right. Yes.
Okay. Have fuel. Have air in the tyre that we discovered was desperately in need of it.
Not that the fuel station had an end for their air compressor line. I ended up having to use our own one. But that's why we have one.
Yep. This is Tennant Creek. We are passing through much later than we really intended to. Got about 40 minutes to get to where we're going to camp tonight.
Assuming we don't have to stop and fill up the tyre some more.
Yeah.
It's a slow leak. Hopefully it remains a slow leak, and then probably in the morning I'll change the wheel, change this over to the spare so we can get that slow leak repaired in Alice on Monday.
I don't know if you can see that sign over there. It says it's 42 degrees at 10 past 6.
The man says it's 40.
Australia is having a major heat wave from Darwin down through to the eastern states. So basically everywhere that we're going this weekend is a major heat wave. So go us.
So we're going to be in Central Australia where it's going to be the hottest.
Yeah, probably. That's okay.
It's all part of the fun.
It's all part of the fun.
Parking on the left at 400 metres.
Oh, we don't want that.
The one we want is on the right. And 1 kilometre.
And normally what we do is we overshoot these things. So let's see what happens today.
100 metres.
Can't really see because I've got my sunglasses on. Very grubby
Nobody
windscreen.
behind us. Don't seem to be overshooting.
Yeah, we could be going to visit somebody at their house.
Well, it's not the most glamorous campsite ever, but it's free and it's quiet. We can't be seen from the road. It'll do for a one night stopover on the way. It's been a long day on the road. It's had its challenges again. Hopefully we don't continue to have so many challenges on the rest of this trip. We had our dinner meal at the middle of the day, and we're going to have a quick easy meal this evening and just settle in and chill out. I guess we'll catch you in the morning. Clearly you're going to have to do something about this before we go anywhere today. I do have a plug kit. I could try and find the issue and plug the tyre and pump it up, but I'd probably rather keep that as a backup option. So I think I'm going to change to the spare, and we'll take this tyre to a tyre repairer in Alice tomorrow to get it sorted, and if anything happens, if we get another puncture, then at least we've got the plug kit we can use to fix one of the tyres, hopefully, to be able to carry on. So that's the plan. It's a bit warm, but here goes. I'm going to have another shower after I've done this. One of the beauties of having a recirculating shower, I can just have a shower. Doesn't matter if I have 2 or 3 showers in a day, it's all good. I'm very pleased I bought this. I don't think I would have got those lug nuts off by hand. They were pretty well torqued up. This made light work of it. Oh.
I cleaned the wrong glasses.
You gave me my prescription funnies. I'm like, I can see the windscreen in really good detail, but everything out there is blurry. It's not good.
Someone's wearing contacts today.
I put my contacts in, which, by the way, it's really hard to put contacts in when you're sweaty. So and he gave me my prescription sunglasses, which meant everything up close was beautifully in focus, but the distance was not much.
Doesn't make safe for driving. Oh, now you've got grubby sunglasses because they're coming the wrong way.
The windscreen's pretty grubby.
Yeah. You're on the side of the road in the middle of nowhere.
We stopped for a coffee, but we had some of this iced coffee and
this, which is not coffee.
a Coke Zero. Coke Zero, or Coke in general, is it a suitable substitute for coffee?
Well, I guess we'll know in a few hours if I have a headache.
I mean, it works,
It does work.
but it's just not the same. It's not a suitable substitute for coffee, I don't think.
No, and that dear double espresso is actually quite nice. So I did probably luck out having the Coke.
Yeah, it was quite an enjoyable coffee. I would rather have coffee than Coke, but Coke will do at a pinch.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've stopped for a coffee on the side of the road on our way to Alice, and we are getting back on the road now. Well, we made it to Alice. We were so enjoying the drive down the hills into Alice from the north that we forgot to video, so you just have to imagine that part. We're in the campground, got the AC on, it's reasonably comfortable in here, but we're going to go for a swim now. So
It's 41 degrees.
Yeah.
9% humidity, which is not what we're used to.
no, we're more used to 34 and 98% humidity. So anyway, it's really nice here. We're going to spend the night. It's kind of mid-afternoon, so we're going to have a restful rest of the day, and then do some bits and pieces here tomorrow before we carry on heading south. But you know, we made it to Alice without any further mishaps. So that's got to be a success. So yeah, off for a swim. For thinking we were going to have a day where nothing went wrong on this trip. Yeah, this is what I'm up to this evening. We've had an issue where it developed this afternoon where the back door wouldn't open, the catch wouldn't release, and after a great deal of frustration on my part and patience on Melanie's part, and getting her friends to pray and me getting more and more frustrated, managed to get the door to release and get it open, and then I've pulled these panels off so I could get a look down in here, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you. Oh yeah, you can see it. So down in there you can just see there's that sort of white grey coloured plastic piece there is meant to have a piece of wire which is captured by it, which is hanging down. You can just see it, you might not be able to make it out, but I need to try and get that piece of wire put back into that catch so that this will work properly again. So we're not there yet, but at least we now have figured out what is wrong. So much for having a nice evening sitting inside in the air conditioning. I'm going to put the camera down and carry on. 5 minutes later, and it releases. So, make sure everything's properly tightened up, put things back together, and we'll have somewhere to sleep tonight. So our tyre woes continue. It turns out that the rim that was here is cracked. The slow leak is not a leak in the tyre, it's a leak in the rim, and here in Alice Springs nobody has one. We've got one last long shot that we're just investigating at the moment, but it looks like we're going to be back on the road. Our spare will have a slow leak. Hopefully we don't need it. If we do, we'll be having to stop every hour or so to put air in it. Not much we can do, so we're going to try Port Augusta. We're just waiting to hear back. The guys here at Tyre Power in Alice Springs have been really good in trying to help us find a solution. We'll see where we get to with it, but not ideal. But what do you do?
20 to 10. We're leaving Alice, heading out through the iconic gap. It has not been the trip we had hoped for so far. Hopefully today is less eventful.
Well, we've stopped in Caldera for lunch, had a butter chicken. Heard from Tyre Power in Alice Springs. He's called ahead to Port Augusta for us to see whether the Iveco service people there could source us a rim or had one in stock. The answer to that is no, so we're not going to be able to get a solution in Port Augusta. We're just going to have to carry on. This afternoon we're going to push on, hopefully past Coober Pedy and free camp out the other side of Coober Pedy. We're just kind of making it up as we go at the moment and kind of rejigging things because of all the problems that we're having, but that's part of life and part of how it goes. Anyway, this is Caldera. Apparently they have good beer. Don't really like beer myself, so I'll leave that to other people to judge. It's probably about 40 degrees, I reckon. Time for me to get it out of the sun into the aircon, cool off a bit. This is our campsite for the night. I guess we're going to see how good the windsock is on this microphone. How far from Coober Pedy are we? About 60 k's?
Maybe.
It's maybe about 60 k's north of Coober Pedy. It's quite breezy, but not as bad as the last site that we stopped at that we were checking out. This one seems to be not quite so bad. A bit more sheltered. Our fridge is not operating correctly. We've not had trouble with it before, not working properly in the heat, but we've got it turned all the way to maximum cooling and it's still just not cold like it should be. You might be able to hear, I can hear that it's running, but it's not as cold as it should be. So I'm going to try and take this panel off here and see if I can see anything going on with the condenser. It's pretty grubby, there won't be much airflow through there. That's definitely going to be impacting the cooling. So I'm going to have to see if I can clean that up a bit, improve the cooling. Might work if I press the right button. Well, that looks a whole lot better than it was. Hopefully that will improve things significantly. Just going to leave that cover off for now until we've got things sorted. Had the windows open, back door open, side door open, having a nice conversation with one of our kids, and all of a sudden we got this windstorm and the van was full of dust. We've cleaned all the bench and everything. We've swept the floor. There's the pile of dust just from the floor, and then the rain started. Oh look, there's some dust on the windowsill there.
You missed it.
So we've still got a bit of clean up to do, but we've closed the doors and the windows and turned the vents off and turned the AC on. It's kind of warm, so we need the AC. Interestingly, we've run the aircon every night. We've slept with the aircon on every night that we've been away. And last night was the first time we've actually been on a powered site. So we've been able to, we've got enough battery that we've been able to sleep with the AC on each night, right through the night. It's currently 27.9 degrees.
Feels like 23.
Feels like 23.9, but it's very warm inside the van still. We've only had the AC on for a little bit, so this rain should cool things off, hopefully settle things down. I think it's probably a storm that will pass over and then things will settle. So anyway, we're settling in for the evening. I've got a bit more cleaning to do, but yeah, time to chill. It's kind of funny. It seems like every time we feel like, okay, it's time to chill, something has gone wrong on this trip. We haven't had a day where we haven't had some kind of drama. So I guess it just adds to it. And in time to come, we'll be able to look back on this trip and go, you remember when? Yeah. Anyway, we'll check in with you again later. As predicted, the storm passed through, and check this out. Well, that's not the end of the troubles that we have, but it is the end of this video. So so come back next time to see the continuation of the journey to Melbourne and what more troubles do we have along the way. Thanks for joining us. Hope you enjoyed this video. Remember, be kind to others, be kind to yourself, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. See ya.